Hey everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Just so you know, we got a gift from heaven from an anonymous person who provided a capability demonstration project that is right here on the screen at GitHub to be able to embed Redis calls into a Simulink model in obviously the world of Matlab. So let me show it to you. It took quite a bit of work to get this working, but I've also got a set of notes that I'll try to work through in this video. I'll try to embed them in the comments. I try to put it into my website, my blog. Wouldn't accept it for security reasons because it looks like code, so it's rejecting it. But I'm going to see what I can do. Anyways, this is the project. You can get it here. I've already posted this on another posting. So just come under github.com svdev Redis_Simulink, okay, and you just download it here as a zip or however you install your Git repositories. Alright, so when you download it, there's a couple of tweaks that you need to really understand. Now, I do think that this is very important. This is going to impact be impacted by the operating system you're on. You can tell I'm on Ubuntu 14.1 on Matlab, or with Matlab 2015A, okay? And from what I understand, the author is using a Mac, so the compilation, everything's different. I have no idea how to run this in Windows. I tried to run it. I'm not sure. I'm sure it can be done using with Visual Studio, but I think there's going to be quite a bit that would be involved. But I'm only focusing on Linux because that's what I'm running. So let me show you the instructions here. Okay, so these are my tips to help you run this. Part of the difficulty of this is setting up all the include files for the header files with the C and C++, setting up the libraries for the high Redis, which is the binder, the data binding for Redis in C. So you have to set up the libraries properly in Matlab and be able to have Matlab find those libraries. So this is what was suggestion, and it did work. You need to get your hands on the SO library for libhighredis and the libhighredis.a. Okay, you compile them and build those. And what you can do, this is probably the easiest way, is just to embed them into the Matlab root bin G lnx a64, and Matlab will, because that's the default library for where all the libraries reside in Matlab. So you just embed it there and it'll find it. Now also you have to run a mex command. This is the one I was able to get running in my environment. This is really important so you can build your high Redis, your S functions, which are needed in the Simulink model. So this stuff didn't change here, which is part of the GitHub. I believe it is going to be this one right here, the Matlab compiles. This is what I'm referring to. But this is how I got mine working as instructed by this author. And I gotta tell him, this is really good. To be able to get me to this point is really amazing. This is a big godsend in my mind. Very powerful combination. So you gotta thank this guy for doing this. He's communicated through YouTube. So moving along, this is my Matlab mex compile command. Okay. So what I ended up doing was, in my directory, I've got here, as usual, Windows decides to get in the way of things. God damn. Alright. Holy moly. God, this thing's going to be gone soon. I'll be very happy to see Windows gone. Anyways, let me show you a typical directory listing that I've got. So I've got my home user, whatever directory, and then that Redis Simulink master directory. Okay, so this is very important on the structure and how you set it up. And all this is just that zip file that I've just uncompress in whatever folder on my Linux environment. So moving back to our instructions. So what you need to be aware of is the include parameter, the switch. Have it point to wherever the high Redis is. So in my case, holy moly. Okay, there you go. So here's the structure when you unzip it. You'll find that there is a high Redis library there, and Matlab needs to know where that is when you compile on the MEX, using the MEX command to build the S function. Okay, so it's all there. So this is how we're doing it. All right, so with the include switch, we tell it where high Redis is. On the library switch, we tell it the same directory, and then of course we include the library high Redis, right? So part of the simulation, when I run it, you'll come across some errors. One of them was the reference of the lib high Redis A. You couldn't find it anywhere. So what I did was it'll instruct you where it's looking for that particular library, the lib high Redis.a. So you can just put it into, let's say, this directory. So okay, so if you look in my ls, you'll find that I've put that lib high Redis A in that particular folder. Okay, and it works because you can build it. So when I run that MEX command, you'll notice that it does run. You may run into a problem with it, but it does work. You know, it's just finding, the problem is setting up the libraries and the include, and somewhere it ran. Oh, another big thing. Ooh, glad I did that. You need to make sure your current directory within Matlab is exactly that downloaded folder. Okay, you got to make sure, otherwise it won't work. That's what just happened. So if I do that MEX command again, you'll notice this time it runs MEX completed successfully. So now we have Simulink or the S functions are built. So if I run my so if I run my Simulink, which takes a little bit of time to load in, what we're going to do is we're going to load in this SLX file, which is the Simulink model, this guy right here. So let's give it a bit of time to open up my Simulink, and I'm going to show you the model that has been built, which you'll see a lot of work. Actually, let me just walk you through this particular folder here. Okay, so you can see here there's a lot of additional files have been created for this person that created this. I think it's a lot of work. Looks easy, but it's not. So here's hopefully a README file to get you started. Okay, and there are some CPP files, C++ files, header files. The compile I just showed you, a custom build, or sorry, a custom C++ file. I haven't gone through this with great detail, but this is part of the Redis connection right here. I'm going to show you the model once we can get Simulink up and running in a bit. Let's see, and then there's some custom M functions that you'll see in the model. So let me pull up the model here, and you'll see in the model, the Simulink model, is quite a bit of work done. But I'm going to run it and let you see the output on the command line of Matlab. Okay, and this takes a bit of time as well, I think. Hopefully, I don't know why my Linux is so slow. Oh, there you go. Okay, so here's the model. I'll give you the top level first. So here's the top level model. Okay, so we have a command builder, a Redis connector, and the receptor. These are your outputs here, and with some terminator. My Redis, oh no, is it tied up? Okay, so the connector, some of these contain state flow, as you can see. So we have a Redis, this is the S function here. This is, looks like my Simulink's not responding as it should. Anyways, here's the response key, which is a state flow chart. In comes the queue. Again, I'm not very high level, but I didn't know you can do these commands, but you can do a printf. These printfs, I believe, will get printed off into the command line of Matlab, which is basically here. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so let me start over again, not to confuse anybody here. So we come into the model. Here's the main model. So we're going to send out some commands to Redis, those C++ files. Now you got to remember, I do have my Redis running. So go back to that one state flow chart. Let's see here. Okay. All right, now we're back to normal. Okay, so we start here, do a print, comes in, we get different types of commands, full, received, or finished. We have various Matlab custom functions. Basically, they're just fprintfs, I believe. Let me just pull up another one here. Okay, build output. But you can see there's a lot of work been put into this. Now, you might be asking, who built this? I think somebody who built this must know Matlab real well. Because I could never build something like this, to be honest. Okay, so we got some calculation or data put back in the workspace. And this is a great Simulink model to work from to showcase the potential of using Simulink for these type of models. Here's another model here, or another function. You set the queue. This is a perfect project to work off of. It does take a bit of work and understanding, which I plan to do in good time. So we have our command builder, and here's some of the get commands. So these are some of the commands that we can send to Redis, right from within Matlab and Simulink. Okay, these are the Redis commands. So I'll show you those, what they are all about. So knowing what we know, let me show you the list of commands that we will send to Redis. This is the general set of commands that are run. We set a euro, US dollar. Remember, Redis stores everything in strings, okay? There's going to have to be some conversion from string to whatever our numeric data type is. So we set those in and set those into the Redis server. We can get that information as well. And we also can do an alt push as well, which I've demoed as well from Redis. Might be the best data type to work with for Redis. And then we can get, I believe this one's the latest. I'm not sure. I don't know Redis all that well. Obviously this person seems to know it pretty good. Okay, so there's all the state flow. So I'm going to run it, and this is a running copy now. But the problem is, it as a suggestion, I'm not sure how to break it. I mean, it will run forever, but it's just going to run forever. And if you see me kill the process for Matlab, you'll know why. Maybe there is another way to terminate this simulation, and I'm sure there is. But for now, I'm just showing you what it can do. But obviously I'll have to build in, or whoever, if it's the author, or myself, or whoever, will need to build in some more intelligence into this model. but apparently we're free to use it as we see fit. Which is great, and without him building this, we wouldn't be this far. I can guarantee you that. Okay, so let me run it. How do I do this? Okay, where's my Matlab? Okay, so all the output is going to come into here. Okay, I'm not going to walk. I am not at a point really to walk through this yet. As I work with it more, I'll definitely be doing that, but all the output will come out through this console right here, through the command window. So let me blow that up, if I can do that. There we go. And at the same time, let me show you the Simulink model running. Okay, so I'm going to run the model. So it's going to do right now, yeah, it's going to start compiling, and off she goes. I think it runs forever. So you can see everything's kind of running right now. It's running as we speak. You can see the blue around some of these. Actually, this is great because this is what I've been wanting to show for months on end. These blue highlights is what it's currently doing. So it's interacting with Redis and inserting data and retrieving data. And you might be asking yourself, well, what's being output? This is the output here with Redis. This is all from within Simulink, communicating with Redis. Okay, so you can see it. It's just going to cycle through all the commands and just repeat. Okay, so let me just see what else is going on here. So this is where all the juicy stuff happens. Yeah, so it's all within here. Okay, so that's running perfectly, but the question is, how do we stop it? Because, well, that's the first time I actually was able to terminate that. So we don't have to worry what I just stated. Cool. All right, so there you go. We're back to normal. So it's running great. This is a very powerful. It's just I don't know how to explain it. So where are we at now? So the way I look at it, we can use this project as a rule model to be able to embed entire models. We're talking from capturing the data from Redis, from maintaining quite possibly a position management within Redis, and then we can have maybe Redis issue commands to somewhere else to communicate with interactive brokers at TWS. That's for the little guys. Now, for all those that may not know, I find it amazing that this person at SVDev has highlighted here in his GitHub the exact project that I've highlighted before. If you are real true low latency for high frequency trading, this project is amazing. So as you can see, it's in C. So if there's a way to be able to have with Redis, what I just demoed, with Simulink, being able to co-generate all this, plus interfacing with that one other project. I'll just show you what this is. Maybe a lot of people don't know about this project. This is another cool open source project called libtrading, and basically what it is, it's for fix fast, for NC, for dialect, for all these different projects, exchanges. I've seen in here ICE, I've seen all kinds. So this is a very good starting point for if you wanted to work with lowest latency, high frequency trading models. Now, because of this, if we can pull this off, that means we can use Simulink as a visual way to build models. Interface it with a fixed connection on top of an internal memory database with Redis, as we've already demoed, be able to build on top of that. This is a very powerful combination because now we can go pretty well lowest latency, as you can see, plus throwing in this fixed interface using this project built in C, as Redis is built in C, as High Redis is built in C. So this is very powerful what we've got. And beyond proof of concept, we actually got it working, but now we have to tailor it for our needs. So I'm not at a point to ever touch Fix. Fix is a very complicated protocol. For me to build that out right now is way too early. But I think the potential's there. And I wouldn't be surprised our friend, this author, is very capable of doing that on top of it, or probably already thought of it. And if that is possible, man, you got yourself an ultimate trading machine that you can visually build, interface it with with Matlab, Matlab code generate into C. Hopefully we can do that. There is some limitations. Let me show you what those limitations are. This is right from the words from our author. So it says the model is kind of meant to be generic block to be able to send and receive any command strings to Redis. Okay. It is not meant to be efficient to just get single integer values, because everything is returned in strings. Maybe it would be good exercise to make one that only takes care of the integer values to convert them, as I said earlier. If you want to make it faster, but that would be a particular case of implementation of this generic block, because this block accepts all Redis commands. And that's true, because I verified that Redis only works with strings. So you will need to figure out how to convert that, and that shouldn't be a big deal, I don't think. So let's see where we're at. Let me just make sure I've got it all. Take care of getting integer values if you really want to make it faster. Case of implementation of generic block, because this block only accepts all Redis commands and outputs all possible Redis return values, null, array, string. There you go. So with that in mind, again, what I just showed you is very, very, very powerful. Hopefully you see why I use Simulink. Let me just finish my thought here. But you can see why I see the potential of Redis with this, and now the ability to be able to embed Redis calls right within the same trading model. Boy, oh boy, this changes a lot, and it could change a huge paradigm in the trading world, especially when it comes to high-frequency trading, being able to use, again, a Simulink to be able to co-generate in C. And again, this can be pretty fast and hopefully pretty efficient, and blah, blah, blah. But being able to embed that lib trading will be another level. So where do we go from here? This is now another option that I have, which I'm probably going to pursue. But as you know, I'm working with Java and the Karen SuperTrader model strategy, whatever. I'm building that in Java, and everything I'm hand coding in Java. I'm just using that as a rule model, as a way to demonstrate that what I can do in Linux can be done in, like I said, in Java with TWS. Works no problem. So I'm planning to showcase that end to end as another option. We know that I've been able to do that with .NET through my courses and my membership, and we got now two big developments. We've got, hopefully I'll be finishing off that Java development with the Karen SuperTrader. This one's going to get a lot of pretty hairy, as you can tell. It's not as straightforward as I originally would have thought, but it can be done. And I think once we build out a proper framework or a workflow, an additional workflow or a modified workflow, to be able to use Simulink for this and embed at some point fix calls using that lib trading, I'm telling you, I think we've got something that's pretty fantastic. With the help of this person being able to showcase that you can embed Redis into Simulink itself. My next theory is to co-generate this, see what happens. He feels it may not be possible, but let me give it a try and report back in another video. So, in essence, this is very powerful to be able to merge probably the world's fastest database with Simulink for ultra lowest high frequency trading. We could be on our way here, and being able to showcase some of the models that maybe will be built out in the future. Again, a big thanks to this guy for putting this together. I'm sure he put quite a few hours in it. I don't know his technical capabilities and Simulink, Matlab, and Redis, but he's pretty clear, pretty tech savvy to be able to pull this off, and he did it. And he was able to assist me to get to a level to build it in my environment again with MATLAB 2015 and Ubuntu Linux 14.1. All right, over and out, and I'll report back on that code generation, see how that goes. Talk to you later.